Hello everyone and welcome to Live, Work, Play, the TechM Way. My name is Vaijayanti and I'm here at the InfoCity campus in Hyderabad. Now I'm sure you're curious what this is all about. Our core values and RISE tenets form the DNA of what we do at Tech Mahindra. And so it's essential and important that we all understand these and how to apply these in our day-to-day lives. And what better way of understanding than listening to these from our leaders who have already lived, worked and played the TechM Way. This platform brings to you a series of up, close and personal conversations with these leaders where they will share anecdotes, instances and experiences of working here at Tech Mahindra and of people and inspirations who've lived up to the RISE tenets. Our first guest on the series is an accomplished leader who has worked across several organizations spanning multiple industries, creating high-performance teams and successful businesses. In a career spanning over 40 years, he has worked with the government, with international multilateral agencies, as well as many corporate organizations, both public and private. In 2013, he was awarded the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome Mr. Vineet Nayyar. Vineet, welcome to Live, Work and Play, the TechM Way.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, sir. How are you?
Just come back from a bit of travel, but otherwise fine.
We know you spent the first part of your day at the MEC campus. As we all are aware, His Excellency Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam also made a visit to Mahindra in Cool Central some time back. And his message to these youngsters was, you need to fly. So it's very similar to what we envision as the philosophy of RISE.
Well, I think the analogy is great because fly requires two wings. It requires the right side and the left side of the mind, of the intellect. And it is when these two converge and work together is that when you really get a successful entrepreneur, a successful business leader, and which in many ways embody the philosophy of RISE.
Right. Excellent. Would you have any instances or any associate or a team member who personifies the RISE as such? Would you be able to recollect an instance of something close to your heart?
I think it's very difficult to point to a single instance because in many ways this is the DNA of the company. But if you ask me of an individual, one single individual which comes to my mind is one of our very successful sales leader and a manager. He'd come home for dinner. I'd never met him before. We chatted. He told me he was going to, he had to leave early because he was flying to Rio, which is, almost a 24-hour flight. And we kept on talking about his background. He was an investment banker. And he was looking after the entire Latin America for that vertical of Tech Mahindra. His superior came to me a little later. He says, do you realize that Srinivasan has no vision? He is completely blind. Now, in my conversation with him, the way he moved around the house, the way he went and picked up his food, it didn't even occur to me that he had that handicap. This is just one instance. There are multiple other instances of people who rise because of and in spite of insuperable obstacles. And that is what we embody when we say rise. It can be in everyday life, it can be in your project, it can be in anything, but it is a state of mind, not a state. And it is that what is critical. Do you have that state of mind?
I think that's a great example of accepting no limits as well. Some of the engineers who are passing out from the MEC campus, if they were to come up to you and ask you about why they should be a Tech Mighty or why they should join us at Tech Mahindra, what would your message be to them? Why should they be joining us?
Because of freedom, we give intellectual freedom, we give to each individual to express his opinion, to the work the way he wants to focus on results and not on obstacles. Every challenging piece of work has obstacles. Otherwise, we won't be there. So it is capability to overcome those which differentiates one person from another, and hopefully a tech mighty from an ordinary engineer.
Fantastic. That's a great example of creating differentiation. Now, we're all aware of the fact that we've been awarded multiple number of times on corporate governance, on good citizenship. Now, is it all about just creating shareholder value, or is corporate governance a much more important tenet?
I think creating shareholder value, yes, it is a value, but I do not give it primacy. Obviously, people who invest in you, people who trust in you, need to be rewarded. There are multiple other things which, to my mind, are important, and I think integrity. And by integrity, I don't only mean money, I also mean intellectual integrity. It is that what is very important. And I think that is what should differentiate us from others, that come what may, we will be true to the cause and we will tell exactly as we see it.
I think
that's just one aspect of it.
Okay.
Because integrity covers a lot of other things. In almost every relation, it may acquire a different time, whether it's with your child, with your husband, with your friend, with your colleague, with your boss. But being true to oneself is, to my mind, the most important part of it.
Fantastic. I also wanted to ask you, what would your message be to a young engineer straight out of college, considering us and considering the 3 tenets of RISE? What would your message be to that engineer?
Well, my message is very simple. If you're willing to meet challenges, if you're true to yourself, there's endless opportunity in this company, where we do not emphasize on conformance. We give great premium to having your own individual personality, your views, and yet converging with others to produce a product which will work for the client.
Fantastic. And finally, a message for all of us Tech Mighties.
Well, I think the message is, I think Tech Mahindra is a very exciting company. It has been eminently successful in its endeavor. It has done that with a great sense of integrity and values which we have kept for ourselves. Let's stay the course.
Thank you. Thank you very much for talking to us at Live, Work, Play the Tech Mighty Way.
Bye.
Mr. Vineet Nayyar. That was Vineet Nayyar, our Executive Vice Chairman at Tech Mahindra. Stay tuned for more interesting sessions with our leaders. This is Vaijayanti signing off now. Have a great day.